This video is sponsored by GlassesUSA.com. I don't read books because I am a cool person. I am tough and cool. My bedtime is late at like 9 p.m. unlike most dorks. But books, they are so lame. I never read any growing up besides real men books like The Boxcar Kids. I love The Boxcar Kids, so I don't even know what an Artemis Fowl is. I have no idea what is this. That's why this movie everyone hates, will be completely fine to me. I will not know what's wrong with it and be completely ignorant. I have no idea what the adaptation is or anything, so that'll make it better, right? Right? Artemis Fowl is absolutely incredible if you like visual torture. It's a treat to defeat. I never read this series as a kid, and I can confirm this movie is god-awful. Abysmal. Artemis Fowl is foul. Has anyone said that yet? Like, genuinely. So from what I can gather from Artemis Fowl in general is that it's about a little nerd boy who is supposed to be a criminal mastermind. At least that's what I got from reading a synopsis on the books. The movie does not give an example of that. If you told me that this was supposed to be about a kid who is insanely good at being a criminal mastermind, I would not believe you. Instead, I would just think that it's about a snobby little kid who's kind of smart. That's about it. This is a movie that just waits for an hour and 30 minutes. It waits until it's over. There's nearly zero plot, no story. It's literally, I'm not kidding, okay? This movie in the dumbest form is literally the intro of Spy Kids. Do you guys remember the intro to Spy Kids? The kids are just like normal kids and stuff. Meanwhile, the parents are out being spies and stuff. But then their house is attacked. Meanwhile, the parents are kidnapped. And there's an old guy who helps them be safe and stuff. Yeah, imagine that first 10 minutes pretty much for a full-length Disney movie in 2020. A movie based on books that kids grew up reading and adoring. That honestly breaks my heart a little bit, and I never even read the books. And you don't have to read the books to understand that this movie feels wrong. It feels like an adaptation gone worse than anything. Worse than a Kim Possible movie, than Percy Jackson. I'm not even kidding. It's worse than the last Airbender movie. The movie I literally just talked about. Yes, it's worse than that abomination. This movie is worse. It's worse than all of the others because there's literally nothing to talk about here. Not like the other movies where I just say there's no stakes or nothing matters just for comedy. No. There's actually nothing in this movie. Nothing. It's the first chapter of a movie, but as a feature-length movie. I'm in shock. It's absolutely incredible that a movie like this exists in this day and age. I thought we were moving past it, but no, God no. We are stuck. It just proves that these things will always happen till the end of time. Artemis Fowl is a 2020 sci-fi horror starring a bunch of kids who I feel bad for. This is the main kid's first acting role, and it's not his fault this movie is so bad. It's everything else around him. The actors in this movie, okay, yeah, they can't act, but it doesn't feel like their fault. The directing or every other element seems like it's holding everyone down immensely. Half the time, the characters don't even speak when they're on the screen. Not even kidding. You'll hear them, but you won't see them. But then when you see them, they won't talk. It's weird.
Look, I need your help. Listen.
It's like someone took an existing movie and re-edited it as a fan montage for YouTube. This is from the incredible director of Thor and The Orient Express. You know those critically acclaimed movies? One of them being a book adaptation that people hate because it was so bad in the final result. This man does not have a good track record. I'm sorry. I'm just in shock. I'm so sorry for the people watching this video because this is an ugly movie. It's dark, like actually dark. For some reason, it's just a really darkly shaded movie. It's gross. The special effects feel instantly dated and the story is just bad. It's like the people that made this couldn't see what they were making. They couldn't see. Maybe they need glasses. You get where I'm going? You get where I'm going with this? GlassesUSA.com. GlassesUSA.com is the best place to look for glasses for your face. By cutting out the middleman, Glasses USA offers prescription glasses at up to 70% off normal retail prices. Now you can shop for prescription eyewear online at affordable prices without ever leaving your home. There are over 4,000 styles of eyeglasses and sunglasses, including brands like Ray-Ban and Muse. You can find every style and color and even specialty glasses like sports glasses and safety ones for those real hard-working folk. And almost every pair can be ordered with your prescription as well. Look at this man, Artemis Fowl. I bet he wishes he had some dope glasses from GlassesUSA.com, but all he has is magical ones. A complete pair of glasses starts at only $30, which is honestly insane. Growing up with bad eyesight, I would always put off getting glasses because of the terrible prices, but Glasses USA is greatly affordable. You can even use a prescription app scanner to scan any current pairs you have just to figure out your specific prescription, letting you stay home and safely order mirror online, while also saving you money. And with a virtual mirror, you can try on any pair of frames and see what they look like on your face by uploading a picture. So click the link in the description to get a special offer from glassesusa.com today. Not to mention there's also a special offer on top of the existing offer in the description where you can find 70% off blue light lens pairs. That's pretty good for the gamers out there. So click the link in the description to get the special offer from glassesusa.com. And now back to the movie. Sadly, because this movie is painful, and it's about time we both dive in together. Dive into the pain, sadness, emptiness. Oh brother. So the movie begins with a bunch of news reporters talking about an incident, but you cannot understand any of them. Usually when movies do this, they'll talk over each other and you'll hear certain details, but no, it's incredibly jarring and annoying right off the first second, because the editing in this movie is awful. Now, here's some backstory. From what I read from the books, even though I would like to preface I did not read them, Artemis Fowl is a criminal mastermind right from the get-go pretty much. His dad's missing and you have fantasy characters like an elf and Mole Hagrid kind of dudes, and a butler who pretty much handles all of Artemis's fights and stuff. That's just from what I personally got from reading about them. Here, we don't really get that. I mean, yes, all of those characters are present, they're in this movie, but they don't act at all how I think they probably should be. In fact, I feel like our main characters are not main characters in this movie. They're terrible in this movie. Artemis Fowl himself is instantly shown to be a straight up jerk, like for no reason. He talks like Sheldon Cooper.
The problem is that I know the textbook reply to any question you may choose to ask.
He's in school therapy and he just walks out because he's too smart for it. Sort of like Rick from Rick and Morty. Artemis Fowl's such a Rick. Too smart for his own good, you know? Maybe this movie would be better if it was just Rick and Morty. Everything should just be Rick and Morty. So during the whole movie, you have Josh Gad as the Hagrid mole dwarf guy narrating over it with his raspy voice. He's telling the story we are watching. Why is he doing that? I can't really tell you, but he's doing that. It doesn't add to the movie. His voice is raspy to sound cooler, but it kind of just pulls you out of the original whimsy that this movie could honestly probably have if it was just the music. The music isn't bad. At least some of it. It's the only genuine thing about this movie that makes it feel magical or fantasy or anything else like it's supposed to be or wants to be. But Josh Gad's narration kind of takes you out of it really hard. So Artemis, he's smart and he loves his dad. His dad is so cool. He's so cool. He's Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell has been in great movies and bad movies. Sadly, this is a bad movie. So I'm sorry, Colin Farrell. Artemis is told about fairies, the fantasy stuff in this world, and his dad then leaves by helicopter and leaves Artemis with his butler. The butler isn't a character in this movie. He just fights like once, really, but they will have a fake out death for him later for no reason, just to make the climax feel like it has something in it. Josh Gad always gives out descriptions of all of our characters, including the butler. These are quirky and everything. Yeah, they're so quirky, but we like, okay, this character in the movie doesn't know any of these people in the movie. He meets them for 10 minutes. You'll find out if you're actually watching the movie. The time that he meets them is fairly short, and yet he knows literally every characteristic and aspect about everybody. The character we meet as Josh Gad is just there and dumb and does dumb things to be funny. And in this narration, he's a smart, grizzled genius and knows everything of everyone. Like, sure, yeah, whatever. That's how this whole movie plays. It's beyond confusing, and no character sticks to one character trait, but not in a complex way that makes them interesting. No, a really dumb way. It's the most needlessly confusing, weird, dumb movie I have ever seen. It's oh my god. So Artemis' dad goes missing and he gets a call from a cloaked kidnapper that we never see the face of for no reason. And by never see the face of, I mean throughout the movie. There's like no reveal of who they are at the end or anything. No, it's just a masked dude with some random motive, barely explained. He's like salty at humans, and so he takes it out on the dad because he's revealed to be super smart collector of everything. In the book, the dad is apparently kidnapped because he angered the mafia because he's a great criminal. Automatically, that sounds a whole lot better. Artemis is told about the existence of fantasy stuff by the butler, and Artemis isn't surprised at all. Now, a good movie would use this to their advantage, showing how smart he he is that this doesn't faze him. But here, no. It's really just like he doesn't care. It really doesn't change his life whatsoever. We then travel underground to where the fairies live. Here is just a terribly lit world with terrible special effects. Things that would normally look cool are shrouded in awful lighting, like these hexagon steps. Wouldn't it be cool if we could actually see them? See them do the cool thing that they're supposed to do? We learn of this thing called an aculus, which is like a golden acorn that everyone wants. It's just a MacGuffin. We also meet Josh Gad, finally, who is the funny guy. He's so funny. Oh my god, he's so funny. He's so funny, dude! Josh Gad then goes to jail. He also knows a fairy who is another main character. Sure. We see this dude in prison visited by the masked person, and there's literally just some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard. Not for comedy's sake. This is a genuine line that is so funny, but it's not supposed to be.
I spy.
You spy or you die.
That was real. That was actually real. Head of the fairies is this old person, and that's their character. They're old. So our main character fairy is sent to the world because, they have to get there fast because there's an incident where a troll is attacking people. Here there's a pointless fight because the whole fight gets frozen in time, all cool and stuff, because it's a cool effect. Duh. They get frozen and everything is fixed. Why not they have sent a freeze time placed first? I had no idea. Dumb. On the way home, Atmaze captures our main fairy. Here she's locked in a cage where Atmaze closes the door to stop looking at her, even though there's literally a million holes in it. This is where the rest of the movie is, by the way. The 50 minutes left is here in this mansion. Apparently this is just like the first book, but no doubt the writing and everything is far more tense and interesting there. I bet the characters actually matter there, because the rest of the plot in this movie is the fairies trying to save the main fairy and get whatever the acorn thing is. They use a time freeze on the house, and while they activate it, just oh my god, what is this? What is this shot? What am I looking at? Y'all see this too, right? I'm not going blind, right? I have my Glasses USA on. What's going on, man? Come on. So with this time freeze, there's also a massive tidal wave because, it just comes with the time freeze, I guess. But, they also stop it with the time freeze. Sure, I don't know why the storm, who knows? They kind of say they do it for no witnesses or whatever in this remote mansion. But wait, there's also a random boat guy, right? I guess he'll be the only witness who gets stuck in the time freeze. Hey, just remember him for later, okay? So the fairies make an advance on the mansion and they fight back. Who I read in the book has his butler do most of the fights. Fights here like nothing, he just fights here. The action is abysmal and confusing. Look at Artmer's. He's broken. Artmer's is broken. Meanwhile, remember Josh Gad? Oh yeah, we forgot about him too. Movie, don't worry, we also forgot about him. He's in jail and fights goblins and literally murders one. Yeah, he just murders one, and then he's sent to the mansion. Okay, sure. And get this, meanwhile, Fairy and Artmer are arguing until literally, randomly, I'm not kidding, in 3 seconds they trust each other because she says one thing relatable to him. They were yelling at each other, she says one thing, and now they trust each other instantly after yelling at each other. It's the funniest thing.
You're enjoying all this. You think it's a game.
Game? My father was kidnapped.
My father is dead.
Can I trust you?
You'll have to. You have no choice.
Okay, so Josh Gad is also here now, and he literally just does the most disgusting thing ever randomly because he's crazy. I'm saying randomly a lot, I know, but it's random, dude. It's always random. He breaks into the mansion and opens last vault. It turns out that the acorn has been there for the whole time. It's just been in his house. Okay, cool. For 1 second, is like, we have an intruder, and then he just doesn't question who Josh Gad is at all. He's just like, oh, hey, dude, thanks for opening this. I don't know who you are, but hey, yo, thanks for opening this. But guys, we're forgetting something. An ending climax battle, because there has to be one. So remember the troll? He's here, and they fight. Yeah, they fight, sure. But don't worry, our squad is a squad now. Like, okay, literally, when did this group happen fully? I cannot find any second when they decide to join up like this. Because especially with Josh Gad, he kind of just shows up, but here we are. They fight, and they win, of course. The time stuff ends, and the boat guy is just tossed back in the boat while he's in the air, and there's still a tidal wave behind him, so I guess he's just gonna drown and explode or something, and the fairies just go home and leave him, I guess. I stopped paying attention. Butler goes to sleep, but wakes up and uses the acorn to teleport his dad back home. And then he calls the masked person, right? And he says the worst line in the whole film. Remember when I said the other one was the worst? No, this is the worst. Like, genuinely.
Just who do you think you are?
I'm Artemis Fowl. And I'm a criminal mastermind.
And then Josh Gad is arrested again. But then he gets saved and acts like he's been working with the group forever. They all do. They all act like they've known each other forever. I've been watching you and I don't even know you. And that's the movie. There's the movie. Artemis Fowl is the worst movie I have ever seen from Disney. The single worst. It's worse than any live action adaptation, worse than any abysmal movie. It's the most confusing movie, the most headache inducing movie, with terrible editing, everything. Everything in here is broken. And this is a movie that's been in development for 4 years. And this is the finished product? This? I do not have to read the books to know how painful this is for fans who actually love them. This is the worst introduction to the series, the worst thing in general. Never have I been so appalled by a movie with this high of a budget. It feels like it's struggling for air the whole movie and suffocates itself 10 minutes in. I am so sorry for fans of the series, I am. In terms of live action adaptations, this is the worst. And it kinda scares me for the Disney Plus Percy Jackson series coming, but I'm hoping for the best considering that author development is, direct this time. And that is the only way that this movie can kinda be swept under the rug in my eyes. Artemis Fowl, it's sad. It really made me sad. It's a smelly, welly movie. Maybe one day you'll get a redemption like Percy Jackson might get, maybe. But until that time, all you got is Josh Gad mouth. Let's look at that. Let's end on that for this video. That gross mouth. Wow. Oh, look at that. It's so big and ugly. So big. Ew. Look at that. Ew. Ew. Thanks again to GlassesUSA.com for sponsoring today's video. If you liked any of the frames I had on earlier in the video, you can check them all out in the description down below. Go check out some of the special deals and get yourself some nice new frames.